Sarah, what the Australian people know that probably don't like your show very much, but they do understand the truth.
Was she drunk? Was that little goblin drinking the blood alcohol content of a leprechaun again?
Marjorie Taylor Greene's face turned as red as a MAGA hack during her latest speech. Did you catch that? Jimmy Kimmel definitely got more laughs than she did with his clever jokes. Our favorite late-night host couldn't resist poking fun at this political situation. His humor is sure to have you laughing out loud. Get ready for a roast that makes MTG's moments seem like a calm summer day. Initially, Marjorie tried to appear composed, as if she understood what she was saying. But we all know she tends to get flustered quickly. For a moment, she seemed almost normal. Honestly, finding a clear point in one of Trump's speeches is as rare as a peaceful day in politics. Things took a turn when the interviewer Sarah Ferguson brought up the 2020 election. That's when Marjorie really lost her composure.
Will Donald Trump's MAGA supporters do if he loses the election?
Sarah, are you even a serious interviewer? But they do understand the truth.
It was like watching a young child realize their favorite ice cream is gone. When Sarah Ferguson asked Marjorie Taylor Greene if she thought Trump would ever face consequences for his actions on January 6th, that's when the fireworks started. Greene's face turned a shade of red that would make any political tie envious. She looked ready to burst. Things heated up even more when Ferguson reminded her that she's never accepted the results of the 2020 election and has even praised those involved in the attack. Greene's eyes widened as if she was about to explode. Then came the big question. What will Trump supporters do if he loses the election? Greene began interrupting Ferguson as if they were in a shouting match, her voice getting higher and louder like an excited little dog. Meanwhile, Ferguson stayed calm, continuing to ask questions, which only seemed to intensify Greene's frustration, like watching a cat chase a laser pointer. Greene's body language was a performance in itself. She squirmed in her seat, even reaching for the microphone as if she was auditioning for a quirky talent show. The most striking moment came when she questioned Ferguson's journalistic skills, asking, "Are you even a serious interviewer?" That's quite a statement from someone whose main qualification appears to be a knack for spelling canon. Then Greene claimed that Australians probably don't like Ferguson's show, but know the truth. That's a bold assertion, especially from someone who seems to consider herself an authority on Australian TV ratings. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more dramatic, the showdown wrapped up with Ferguson thanking Greene, probably through gritted teeth, as Greene yanked off her microphone like it was a stubborn Band-Aid.
Donald Trump seemed to be the only one who was unhappy last night as the stars of the MAGAverse descended to party in New Hampshire, stars including the Klan mom herself.
Nikki Haley was defeated. The problem is she's going to be dumb enough and she's going to be a fake candidate and she's going to keep going and we're going to destroy her in South Carolina.
If you can't handle the heat, you might as well run from the kitchen. Jimmy Kimmel's commentary on Marjorie Taylor Greene's interview meltdown did not disappoint. Armed with sharp jokes that could make any politician smile, Kimmel wasted no time making his mark. He kicked things off by saying poor Marjorie seemed to be having a rough day, joking that she looked as stable as a Jenga tower during an earthquake. Kimmel pointed out how our favorite conspiracy queen struggled to keep it together when faced with simple questions. It was like watching a kid try to explain quantum physics, amusing but ultimately pointless. He didn't hold back regarding her breakdown, with the audience laughing harder than Greene did while trying to defend her latest outlandish claim. Kimmel quipped, "I haven't seen someone turn that red since Trump tried to read a book without pictures." He also called out Greene for dodging Ferguson's legitimate questions, saying she was evading them like Trump evades taxes. The crowd erupted in applause, louder than at a Free Hat Day rally. But there was more comic gold to come. Kimmel poked fun at Greene's attempt to question Ferguson's credibility, eliciting laughs so big you'd think they were watching a compilation of Trump's best misspellings. "Are you even a serious interviewer?" he mocked, adding that it was rich coming from someone who believes in Jewish space lasers. As Kimmel addressed Greene's last outburst, the laughter reached new heights. He joked that she grabbed the mic like it was the last conspiracy theory at a buffet. His best moment came when he remarked on her attempt to speak for the Australian people, saying, "Marjorie Taylor Greene knows as much about Australian TV ratings as she does about real science. Absolutely nothing." Kimmel's straightforward style of political comedy shone through, and the thunderous applause from the audience showed they were loving it. He kept highlighting Greene's visible frustration, and with every clever jab, the crowd laughed harder. At one point, He joked that she was fidgeting more than Trump at a spelling bee.
He told her supporters that the race is far from over. She still has literally dozens of states to lose. She reminded her fans that doddering Donald doesn't seem to know that she isn't Nancy Pelosi.
The other day, Donald Trump accused me of not providing security at the Capitol on January 6th. Trump claims he'd do better than me in one of those tests. Maybe he would, maybe he would.
Kimmel wrapped up his critique of Marjorie Taylor Greene's disastrous interview with one last comedic gem, sending the audience into fits of laughter as they recalled all the times she showcased her brilliance. He smirked. "I'm starting to think Marjorie Taylor Greene might not be the stable genius she claims to be." After witnessing her meltdown, he shifted gears to highlight her worst mistakes from the interview, which provided him with plenty of material to work with. First up was Greene's classic line, "Are you even a serious interviewer?" Kimmel couldn't resist quoting it. He laughed. "Well, Marjorie, are you even a serious politician? Because most of us can't take you seriously either." Then, when discussing the events of January 6th, Greene took a relaxed approach to the facts, prompting Kimmel to produce a prop, a kid's toy camera. The audience erupted with laughter as he exclaimed, "I found one of the cameras those tourists used." He even exaggerated his reactions, mimicking an overly excited tourist, much to the crowd's delight. Greene wasn't done digging her own hole. She remarked, "Sarah, what the Australian people know is that they probably don't like your show very much, but they do understand the truth." Kimmel seized this moment, responding, "Ah yes, because nothing says, 'I understand the truth,' like supporting a guy who thinks windmills cause cancer." He then displayed a spinning globe and squinted at it, joking, "I'm trying to find the country where Marjorie Taylor Greene is considered an expert on, well, anything." As Greene's frustration grew, Kimmel called attention to how she aggressively grabbed the microphone, saying she seized that mic like it was the last piece of evidence proving the election wasn't stolen. To emphasize his point, he pulled out a plush microphone and started playfully grappling with it on his desk, adding to the laughter in the room.
He said he would crush you in a mental competency test. All you need to do is say okay. No one wants to watch you debate him. We want to watch Donald Trump sitting with paper and a pencil, a number 2 pencil, trying to figure out which one is a rectangle and which is a square.
Kimmel couldn't help but imitate Marjorie Taylor Greene's frantic energy, asking, "Is this how you conduct interviews in Congress?" Things took a turn when Greene accused the interviewer of lying. Kimmel jumped on the chance to make a joke about someone who doesn't take things seriously, alluding to Greene's infamous conspiracy theory about Jewish space lasers. He pulled out a fake laser gun with a Star of David sticker, making pew-pew noises while aiming it at the camera, and declared, "Watch out, Australia. Marjorie thinks you're next." As the conversation unfolded, Greene's composure faded faster than facts at a Trump rally. Kimmel remarked on her bright red face, saying, "I thought she was auditioning for the role of a tomato in a vegetable rights protest. You might wonder how this ties back to Trump. Well, get ready." Kimmel expertly linked the two political figures, seizing the opportunity to take shots at not just Greene but Trump as well. For Kimmel, getting 2 political clowns for the price of one felt like an early Christmas gift. He pointed out the unsettling similarities between Greene's meltdown and Trump's infamous outbursts. "It's like watching a mini Trump in action," he joked, noting their matching red faces and incoherent ramblings, just with slightly better hair. Kimmel went even further, comparing Greene's defense of Trump to that of a devoted fan. He quipped, "I half expected her to pull out a Trump 2024 poster and start screaming like a Beatles fan in the 60s. When Kimmel highlighted how Greene's tantrums resembled Trump's Twitter tirades, the audience erupted with laughter. "It's like she's been taking lessons from the master himself on how to throw a tantrum," he quipped. "Next thing you know, she'll be rage tweeting at 3 a.m. about KFC and hamburgers." As for Trump's reaction, he couldn't resist having a little meltdown of his own. Kimmel shared a video of Trump praising Greene's performance, sounding like a proud parent. "It's amazing," Kimmel exclaimed. "It's like watching a toddler congratulate another toddler for having the biggest meltdown in the grocery store." He even poked fun at Trump's interviewing skills, or lack thereof, adding to the comedic gold of the segment.
But he's gunning for a pardon, huh? Trump must hate him so much.
They invite you here tonight?
No, I came. It's an open event. It's a public event. I just registered and came. I came to have fun. It's MAGA time, baby. It's 2024.
I looked all over the internet for a picture of them together. There are none. There are no pictures. Trump has who knows how many photos with Jeffrey Epstein. George Santos, he's like, you stay over there, okay?
Kimmel continued his comedic onslaught, remarking that Trump praising Greene's interview skills was like a fish complimenting someone on their tree-climbing abilities. Neither of them should be giving advice on handling tough questions, he quipped, setting the stage for a series of hilarious comparisons. They're like the dynamic duo of delusion, he declared, likening them to Batman and Robin. If Batman were orange and Robin believed in Jewish space lasers. The audience howled with laughter as Kimmel emphasized that they seemed to be in a competition for who could make the most ridiculous claims. Let me tell you folks, it's a tough race to call. Kimmel expertly pointed out how both Trump and Greene had a unique perspective on reality. These two are so detached from the truth, they could be on a spaceship to Mars and still claim they're in Florida. He joked, noting that perhaps their shared craziness was the glue that held their unlikely alliance together. Misery loves company, and so does crazy. But the real highlight came when Kimmel turned up the heat on Greene, delivering a deep-frying experience in a vat of her own absurd remarks. She's mad. She's a snowflake, he mocked, poking fun at her emotional reactions.
Party night in MAGA land last night. All the spokesmonsters were out in force, including somebody that we haven't seen for quite some time.
I think Trump tonight will continue to be very gracious. If people say, oh, he insults this one, he's been incredibly gracious. Last point, this is a democracy, a constitutional republic. We must respect the will of the people. And Nikki Haley can't become an election denier.
Look who climbed out of the grave. And I have to admit, I kind of miss that bleach blonde she-demon blowing her vape smoke up Trump's burnt orange crevice at every...
Throughout the segment, Kimmel had the audience in stitches as he repeatedly returned to Greene's visible anger. Every time he mentioned her name, he would imitate her furious expression, growing redder and redder, eliciting loud laughter from the crowd. It felt like a continuous joke, building momentum with each jab. Kimmel didn't shy away from poking fun at Greene's conspiracy theories either. He mockingly remarked that she grabbed the microphone